Okay, in this chair yoga video series, you're going to want to have a few props and be sure that you are practicing safely. So you want to have all four legs of your chair on a non-slippery surface, a carpet or a yoga mat, right? And you might want to have a block and a yoga strap or an old necktie. So a stack of books works well for a block too. So we may use those. You want to have those. So again, remember, all four legs of the chair on the floor, and grab your pops before you start each video. Look forward to practicing with you. This is the first of 3 chair yoga videos to cultivate gratitude. And while any of them can stand alone, you might find it helpful to do them in order. The thing about gratitude is that it's hard to sustain. So it's like stringing together a bunch of pearls on a necklace. You take these little moments of gratitude in our lives, and eventually it comes out to be a life living thankfully. A lot of these thoughts are based on a book by a woman named Diana Butler Bass. Her book is called Grateful. So for this morning practice, I'm going to read this prayer of hers. So I invite you to just stand up tall. Feel your feet rooted into the ground, preferably with your shoes off. It's really important to have our feet actually touching the surface of the floor. If you're comfortable closing your eyes, you could do that, or maybe just look down at your toes. And here we go. Open my eyes, God, that I may become alert to gratitude throughout the day. Help me bridge the gap between knowing about gratitude and living in thankfulness. Free me from guilt about the gap. Replace it with the joy of discovery and an eagerness to change. So center your head right over your shoulders. Maybe lift your shoulders up, back and down. Feel your sternum, your chest open a little bit. And then lift your toes up, spread them wide. So the thing about this is that it's often helpful to spread your fingers wide too, right? That'll make your toes spread. And then just go ahead and put your toes down. And notice that firmed up all the muscles in your legs, in your arches of your feet, maybe the backs of your calves, your inner thighs. So you're nice and firm like a mountain. So we want to keep that connection to the ground. But we're really going to start seated. Okay? So let's begin with the breath. Close your eyes, again, if you're comfortable, or just gaze at the floor in front of you. Sitting up tall, away from your chair. Simply inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Feel the back of the neck long. And as your mind begins to settle, I invite you to think about one thing, maybe a relationship that you're going to encounter in your day today. Maybe it's a particular person. Maybe it's your relationship to your environment, the outdoors or the indoors, or having your basic needs met. Choose one thing to be grateful for. And so whenever you lose focus on your breath or your mind starts to wander, you can use that one thing to bring you back. And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and float your eyes open. So resting your hands on your knees with your feet right under your knees, about 2 fist widths apart. Put a little pressure on your knees as you lift your toes and spread them wide, just like we did when we were standing. And then put them back down again. And you'll feel how it's harder here with less body weight on your feet to get the bottoms of your feet to engage with the ground. But we can do it, and you'll really feel that work in the lower legs, the inner thighs. So do that just a couple of times. Lift your toes, spread them as wide as you can. Even if they don't physically spread, you're sending the signals from your brain to your feet to get activated. And then put them down. Feel your spine long and your legs active. All right, so that's the goal, like we're going for. Every time you move, you want to know and be aware of the engagement of your feet. So then just let that go, and you can kind of feel your legs relax. Maybe take your knees and wiggle your knees a little bit. We're still sitting tall away from the chair. Right? And then we're going to start by gently warming our spine. So the thing about your spine is if it's compromised in any way, you want to be really careful. So if you have a fused disc or herniated discs or a kyphotic curve where your upper body is rounded over, just be careful about how you move. Shouldn't be any pain. Stretchiness is good, pain not so much. So I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see me. Again, I'm going to keep my feet rooted. And rather than doing traditional yoga cat-cow, we're just going to simply work on our posture. So upper body, bring your shoulders forward and up and back, and then slide them down. So you feel those muscles below your shoulder blades activating, those subscapularis. This is also going to be good if you have shoulder pain. So just gently bring your shoulders forward and up and back and down again, activating those muscles under your shoulder blades. Let's do that one more time. Shoulders forward and up and back, and roll them down. Get nice and tall, back of the neck still long, right? Good. And then we're just going to move our tailbone. So think about taking your tailbone up and back, so a little gentle arch. And then think about scooping your tailbone under. So very small curving underneath of the spine. Gentle arch, tailbone goes up and back, and then curling down like a pelvic tilt. Let's do that one more time. Gentle arch and curving under. Good. So that'll be your mirror. So if you sit on the side of the chair with your left hip still on the chair, and you're going to lift your right heel up, right? Maybe you slide the foot in a little bit so you can get a nice arch in that foot. And then put it down, drop your heel, and lift your toes as much as you can off the ground. They might not go very far. Right? Then arch, lift your heel. Exhaling, drop your heel. Inhaling, lift your toes if you can. They don't go very far, right? So strengthening the ankle. Go ahead and put that foot down. And then take those toes behind you. And we're just going to make some circles with our ankle with the toes as the anchor, right? Just moving the ankle. The knee will go a little bit. You'll feel a little opening in the hip maybe. And go the other direction. Maybe you're getting a little cracks in the toes. That's okay, as long as there's no pain. And then put that foot down again. You turn around and just notice if the one foot feels any different than the other. So the one where we've just gotten the circulation going might feel a little bit bigger. So let's go to the other side. All right, just sitting on that hip, the right hip this time. Lift the left foot, arching. Exhale, put the heel down, and inhale, lift the toes. Exhale, put the foot down. Inhale, lift the heel. Exhale, put the foot down, and inhale, lift the toes. So one more time. Arch. And flex. And then take that foot a little bit behind you, so your big toe is the anchor, and then just start to make some circles with the ankle. We're still sitting up tall, supporting our spine, engaging those subscapularis muscles, and then make your circle in the other direction. Nice. Right, come on back to neutral. And see if we've evened those feet out. Nice. So also important to keep our hips moving as well as they can in our hip socket. So we'll go back to that first side, working the right leg. All right, so sitting up tall, see if you can lift your knee. Maybe hold the shin. So flexing of the hip joint. Then take the knee behind you, extending the hip joint. So the knee and the foot and the hip are all pretty much in line. So we're just going to do that a couple times. Lift the knee, and then take it behind you. Curl those toes back, get a nice stretch in this quad. It's important to keep both our quads and our hamstrings nice and long for our spine. Do that one more time. Inhaling, lift the knee. And exhaling, drop it. And get a little stretch in that thigh. Good. And then take yourself back to the center. And again, you might feel now this right leg activated. More circulation than the other. So we'll go to the other side. 3 times, inhaling, lift the knee, using your core, and exhaling, take it back. And again, inhaling, lift the knee, just moving the femur, the thigh bone in the hip joint, take it back. Inhaling, lift the knee, so I'm holding on to the chair, exhaling, take it back. Nice stretch in the quad. A couple of breaths, come back to that intention that you set. And gently release. Nice. So let's take our shoulders up, back, and down again. Feel that back of the neck nice and long. So sitting forward on the edge of our chair, just do some internal and external rotation of the hip joint. Again, using the foot as the anchor. So take your feet a little bit wider. We'll start with that right foot. So turn that knee in, and then turn the knee out and the heel in. So knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out. One more time, knee in, knee out. Use my big toe as the anchor. We'll do the other side. So knee in, carefully of your knee, knee out, knee in, don't go too far, knee out. The rotation is from the hip joint, inward and outward. Let's do one more time, inward and outward. So we're going to keep our knees diagonally out, sit up really, really tall, and just fold forward with a flat spine. You might feel a little stretch in your inner thigh or your low back. Shouldn't be any pain, right? The crown of the head is just reaching out long. So even if you only go a few inches forward, that's okay, right? It's a practice. We'll turn around to this first side for the right leg. Do a little hamstring stretch, back of the thigh. So take that heel forward, right? Sit up tall and start to fold forward. The leg can stay a little bit bent, so not putting any pressure on the back of the knee, right? Just folding forward, hold on to your chair. You want to be sure you don't fall. Take several breaths to stretch out the back of the leg. And inhaling, come on back up. We'll turn to the other side. Or you could do this straight forward, right? You could just stretch your leg out in front of you. Well, I'll go this way so you can see. Make the spine long and then exhale, knees a little bit bent, just folding forward. One leg might be different than the other. Keep your toes drawing back toward your knee, other foot rooted, holding onto your chair. Good, and inhaling. Come on back up. Come on back to center. So we're going to challenge ourselves a little bit by doing a warrior two pose, right? So you stay seated in the chair with your hips on the edge of the chair. Take your left knee straight out to the side so your foot is parallel to the front of your chair. Sit on that hip and then take your other foot straight back. Again, being careful of this knee. If you push into the outer edge of your foot, it will help. So you'll feel this in your hip joint. You might not be able to get the leg all the way straight yet. But eventually, you might stretch that leg out and you'll see you have heel to arch alignment in your foot. And it's this front hip, the hip of the bent leg that's supporting you on your chair. You hold on to the chair, right? Front and back, sides. Make sure you're nice and stable. Just gazing out over that bent knee. Check in with your feet. Are they really rooted? So this would be super challenging, but are they rooted enough that you could lift your hips off the chair? And maybe just set them back down. So it's a practice. You might not be able to lift today. It takes a lot of leg strength. Maybe try that one more time. Can you pull onto your legs, lift your hips? And exhaling, release. Come on back. Slowly bring the knees back to center. Rest your hands on your thighs. Take a breath. And we'll go to the other side. So right knee goes straight out. Safely taking this leg back, pushing into the outer edge of the foot, keeping the foot flexed. It's just this front thigh that's on the chair, right? Maybe the leg gets straight. Gazing over that front knee. Root your feet, just like we did in the beginning. And so maybe you want to see if you can stand on your feet. And exhaling back into the chair. And inhaling. Stand on your feet. And exhaling, release. Nice. And bring yourself back. Good. So just a little bit of core work here, sitting on the front of your chair. You're going to lean back on your hips and lift one knee. It doesn't really matter which one. And then put it down. And lean back and lift the other knee. So my back really isn't against the chair. I'm just leaning back enough to get my legs off the ground. Pull your low belly in. Shouldn't be any pain in the low back. You can support yourself with your hands. Maybe lift both knees. And gently release. So if there's any pain, just do one leg at a time, right? One, and then the other. So maybe you repeat one and then the other, or maybe you lift both. Take a breath. And gently release, and you'll feel your belly muscles nice and warm. We're just going to finish with a standing one-legged balance. So, as you get out of your chair, again, remember we want to focus on the feet and be intentional about how we move every time. So root those feet down just like we've been doing. And then work on standing up. Coming right to Tadasana. Feet 2 fist widths apart, toes spread wide. Nice and stable. Good. So we're going to do tree pose, supported on the chair. So if you can get your foot up on the chair, it'll keep you nice and stable. So if that doesn't work, hold on to the chair and put your other foot on your calf, knee pointing out, right? So either one works. Maybe you continue to hold on the chair. Maybe you bring your hands together, your heart. Take a couple of breaths here, feeling both feet rooted, even if your foot is on your calf. You're actively pushing that foot into your leg. Good. So if you wanted to challenge yourself, you might see if you could lift that foot just for a moment. And then safely releasing the leg. Come back to Tadasana. And we'll go to the other side. So again, either holding onto the chair, using your outside foot on the calf, or standing on the chair with that inner leg. Bring your hands to your heart. So one thing that will help you balance is if you place your eyes, gaze on one thing that's not moving, so not me, maybe something on the wall behind me, or something in the room where you are. Maybe you lift the knee. Remember, we're just stringing together moments of awareness, being aware of where our feet are in relation to the rest of our body. So holding on and gently releasing in the same way that we string together moments of gratitude. And then come on back to seated. So we're just going to do a little easy twisting, right? So just let your arms hang free, and we're twisting from above the waist. So our lower body's not moving at all, right? I'm just going to twist from side to side. So if we keep our shoulders level, this will be safe for our spine. You can even put your fingertips on your shoulders. Just using the muscles of our back. Twist. We're going to keep doing this a few more times. Stick with your breath. Keep your feet rooted. And 3, and 2, and 1. And exhaling, bring your hands right back to your knees. Take a moment to notice the energy in your body. One last time, recall that intention, that one thing you can be grateful for in your day, and commit to moving with intention and gratitude. So bring your hands to your heart center. Exhaling, bow your head to your own heart with a mental pat on the back for showing up. The spirit in me honors the spirit in you. Be thankful, be well. Namaste.